So we are in Warwick now by the River Avon, and I'm just going over the Brücke, over the bridge. Lovely view across St Nicholas Park over there in Warwick, and through here is a nature reserve, and that's the river where we've just walked, well, where I've just walked along beside that river. Now we come to the ponds. I've forgotten what these are called, but they're rather nice. So before we get underway, I hope you're safe and well wherever you are in this great big world of ours, and yeah, stay safe and well. And lots of bulrushes through there. And thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, ringing the bell, and all that jazz. It's very kind of you. Good gracious, I'm glad he had a bell. He went past me. Kingfisher Pool, there we are. That's what it is. They had an invasion of aquatic weed last year, apparently. Lovely area. I think I'll go round the pond once and then carry on to Warwick. It's a bit later than I'd planned because, having talked about diverting from your path, I didn't divert from the path, but I diverted from the plan of walking to Warwick, and I had a lovely chat with a young couple. Lesser Celandines. That nice. So and as I said in the last video, thank you for those who are making lovely comments. Please feel free to leave positive comments. I never leave negative comments, because if I don't like something, then I just don't like it and ignore it. There's no... Only trolls are nasty about it. Now, of course, if it's a hotel that's not up to standard, you of course would complain. But so many trolls around. Oh, look at that. The bulrushes. All the seeds coming off them now. Now, it's quite a gale, so I'm hoping that the sound will be perfectly okay. Isn't that a lovely view across this lake? Kingfisher Pool. And there's all the seeds coming off the bulrushes. What a lovely, lovely scene. Well, we'll go a little bit further round now. There's the river over there, the River Avon. We're going to continue on round here. It says, be aware there are swans in this area, and of course they can be a little bit like Sid Vicious, the swans. So one needs to be careful. It's obvious, if creatures have their babies, you keep out of their way. That's how it works. Unless they introduce them to you. Now, remember well that I was in Stratford-upon-Avon, and that's exactly what happened. We weren't feeding them, but the swans brought their babies over, and were quite happy to have their head and necks stroked. I've only ever done that on that one occasion, and it was special. It seems very special, relating to animals. I still remember when we were at the elephant camp for rescued elephants in Thailand. We had the most wonderful time. Of course, some of them were not A1, so they had to have medicine, or maybe it was just to keep them fit anyway. Lovely, lovely place, this elephant camp. And we fed them, and we looked after them, and we scrubbed them. And what is lovely is when you've washed them down and they're happy, you can hug their trunk, and they look at you with such an intelligent look. They do seem to like to relate to people who like them, and I think animals automatically sort of know that. They pick up on people who they can relate to and who are pleasant to them. But that was really, really special. But there was one funny occasion. They have their, I won't call them keepers, they're the people who look after them. And I can see a greater celandine down there. Can you see that just across there? Isn't that nice? Just above where my shadow is. Get that. Yeah, so the keepers, we won't call them keepers, we'll call them the looker-afterers or something like that. Now here's the swan. Oh yes, do not use walkway. There's the nest, look. How about that, look. How lovely. I don't think there's eggs or anything in it yet, but it looks rather nice, doesn't it? Yeah, so as I said, they're people who are looking after them. We're in the field with them, and all of a sudden, because like human beings, elephants have rows with each other. All of a sudden a row kicked off. There was trumpeting and running about, and oh my word, it got so scary that their guardians ran off. They all got the other side of the fence. They all ran off. It was incredible. I think as much as anything, the elephants were fighting each other, but I think as much as anything, it was actually all about not getting in the way of them when they're running around, because you wouldn't have much of a chance, really, would you? If you accidentally, or they accidentally trampled on you, it wouldn't be good, would it? That's where we are today. And no, so that was what happened there. But elephant camp is lovely because you look after the elephants, but more than that, we went with Kong. She was our guide, and I went up. Irene didn't fancy it. I must admit the mountain was very steep, and I went up what was a dry riverbed. But of course what had happened the day before is we'd had a storm. Look at those violates, and the storm meant that this was not a dry riverbed. It wasn't running madly, but it just wasn't dry anymore. So we ended up climbing, and there were drops. We had to climb down some what were little waterfalls, and altogether we had the most fabulous time, and not to mention the lovely food, and of course the luxury tents. We'll talk a bit more about this on the next video, because we are nearly running out of time. So we'll just hover here for a moment, and I'll say thank you for watching, and we'll just let it run through this wonderful place where we are. I suppose I could have finished the story, but there we are. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, bye for now. This is Kingfisher Pond in Warwick, Warwickshire, United Kingdom.